Rod Stewart just did something no one expected in a single sentence. He torched Keir Starmer's credibility and backed the most controversial man in British politics, Nigel Farage. Was it a bold truth or reckless chaos? Either way, the impact was instant, and it's shaking the election to its core. Stay with me because what you're about to hear could be the moment everything changed in UK politics. Rod Stewart just sent shockwaves through British politics, and no one saw it coming. In a move that stunned both fans and political insiders. The legendary rocker publicly backed Nigel Farage's run in the general election and took a sharp swipe at Keir Starmer in the process. For a man who's spent decades staying mostly apolitical, this sudden pivot into the heart of the UK's most divisive political battlefield is being called nothing short of a bombshell. It all started during what many assumed would be a routine interview. Rod was asked, almost casually, about the current state of British leadership, but what followed left the room silent. With a smirk, Stewart said, "I've got to be honest. At least Farage has the balls to say what he really thinks. Can't say the same about Starmer." That quote lit a fire online almost instantly. Within hours, it was trending, with hashtag Rod Stewart, hashtag Starmer exposed, and hashtag FARAGE surge, all blowing up across social media. But this wasn't just about one offhand comment. Stewart doubled down, posting a cryptic message to Instagram later that day. Each read, "This country needs a shake-up. We've had enough empty suits." The image, a Union Jack draped over a microphone, with the caption, "Time for a new tune." Subtle, not exactly intentional. Absolutely. And people noticed. Millions of fans, political commentators, even MPs, everyone had something to say. Some praised Stewart for finally saying what needed to be said, while others accused him of glorifying populism. But whether you agreed or not, the impact was undeniable. A cultural earthquake had just hit Westminster. What makes this even more seismic is the timing. Keir Starmer has been walking on eggshells for weeks, with 3 major U-turns in a single month, growing dissent in his own party, and now a surprise jab from one of Britain's most beloved icons. It's not just bad optics, it's brutal symbolism. Because when a cultural figure like Rod Stewart speaks, he doesn't just influence voters, he reshapes public mood. This sudden political tone shift didn't happen in a vacuum. Farage's return to the spotlight has already been rattling traditional parties. His sharp-tongued soundbites and unapologetic campaign style have reignited a base that many assumed had moved on. And now, with Stewart's unexpected nod of approval, Farage isn't just a threat to the Conservatives. He's suddenly encroaching on Labour's turf too. Sources close to Labour say Starmer's team was blindsided by the outburst. There was no official response, no quick-fire PR counterstrike, but insiders describe a mood of frustration and anxiety. One party official reportedly said Stewart's comment was irresponsible, but acknowledged that dismissing him outright could backfire. "The worst thing we can do is give this more oxygen," the source said. But the silence spoke volumes. Farage, on the other hand, did the opposite. He amplified the moment like a veteran showman. In a tweet that's now been reshared over 300,000 times, he wrote, "Even Rod Stewart's had enough. The winds of change are blowing. Folks, it was short, punchy, and perfectly timed." And just like that, a rock star became a political accelerant, rekindling Farage's momentum and putting Labour's communications team on full alert. But let's not forget, Rod Stewart isn't just any celebrity. We're talking about a global legend. A man whose voice has spanned 5 decades, who has sold over 250 million records, and who remains a symbol of British pride and rebellion. When someone like that breaks the silence and makes a political statement, it doesn't just land. It echoes, and for many disillusioned voters, that echo rings true. There's a growing sense across the UK that politics has become robotic, disconnected, and predictable. Voters are frustrated by promises made and broken, by cautious speeches and vague pledges. Stewart's comment, for all its bluntness, tapped into something raw, the feeling that no one is really saying what they think anymore, that the boldness has vanished, that politics needs a new voice. That's what makes this so dangerous for Starmer, because the challenge now isn't just Farage. It's the perception that Labour, even in power, still feels afraid to take risks. It's too focused on looking so farther than sounding strong. Stewart's words, however controversial, cut through that noise. And the danger for Labour isn't that people will agree with Rod Stewart. It's that they'll feel what he said before they even think about it. Emotional hits matter more than manifestos in the social media age. And Starmer, who's already struggling to hold his party together, just took a hit from someone he never saw coming. But maybe the bigger question is this: why now? Why would a music icon who's carefully avoided politics for most of his career suddenly dive into the mess of election season? Some speculate it's personal frustration. Others say it's about legacy, making one final mark on the country he's spent a lifetime representing on global stages. Whatever the motive, one thing's certain: Rod Stewart has shattered the silence, and his timing couldn't be more disruptive. If Starmer wants to hold on to public trust, he'll need to prove that leadership means more than just adjusting when the pressure gets too loud. He'll need to show conviction, because the age of silence is over. And if this is how the election season begins, just imagine how it ends. If you think Rod Stewart's bombshell was shocking, just wait, there's more coming. This election is spiraling fast, and we're tracking every twist. So if you want the real story, no filters, no fluff, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. And let me know in the comments, was Rod Stewart right to speak out? Or did he just throw fuel on the fire? I'm reading every reply.